guys, happy Saturday. It is gorgeous outside. It is so sunny here in San Diego, sunny San Diego. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your weekend, and I'll just wait for you homies to pop on in. I get to wear one of my brand new blue dresses because it's hot outside, so I'm trying to wear like minimal clothing that I could sweat in. So anyway, yeah, just wait for you guys to pop on in. I will have a little bit of tea. It's supposed to be even hotter this coming week. Last week was like, we had a couple 100-degree days, and it was like 90s, 80s, and then next week's supposed to be like all in the hundreds, especially on Wednesday, like super hot. Hey Garrett, what's up? And Aries is here. What's up? What's up? So hopefully you guys are having a good start to your weekend. I have some stuff lined up for you guys because there was a topic that popped in my head I thought you guys might enjoy. Hello, Essence. But I'll wait for more people to pop in so that people don't miss my topic that came to me like an hour ago. And I was like, ooh, I think you guys would like it. So yeah, while people are popping in, um, while my students are doing their distance learning, went Thursdays for English. That's their due date. Like all their assignments, which aren't many really, are they turn them in on Thursday and then we grade on Friday. Yes, Garrett, happy Beltane. So yes, those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, happy Beltane, and those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, happy Samhain. So some of you guys going into the cooler months where the rest of us are getting ready to get on fire. Aries said, I love your channel for cute decks. Well, thank you. Every Sunday, about 99% of the time, I try to post a deck review for you guys. So every Sunday, that's kind of when my deck reviews come out. Unless I have something else going on a Sunday, I might move the review to someplace else. But at least once a week, I have a review for you guys. Because I like just sharing lots of artwork. I'm not really trying to get people to buy tons of decks, but if you're like looking at one and you just want to see a flip through, or maybe you just want to look at some art, which is the case with me. That's why I like watching deck reviews. And Roach is here. Namaskaram. She says, you are looking so sweet. Well, thank you. This is my new blue dress. It's actually made of terry cloth, kind of like the same cloth they used for like beach towels. So yeah, it's got that beach towel cloth. And I was like, ooh, that means I get to bust out my little fruity earrings. I love my fruity earrings. And this like seashell necklace I've had probably since I was in high school, maybe middle school. So I've had this for a long time. I've had this since the early 90s, y'all. Oh, and then I decided to put a flower in the hair because, I'm ready for summer. Like that is my month, season. That is my season, summer. Garrett said, we're going to have storms rolling through tonight, and they said there is possibility of tornadoes, and we are in the peak of tornado season. Oh, I remember that's what you were saying. So remember, you and your family, stay safe. You guys probably have storm shelters out there, don't you? I know that my grandmother, my grandfather's family out in Defiance, Ohio, like they all had like the storm cellars. And so like if whenever they had like the tornadoes are getting kind of close to Defiance area, then it was like down into the storm cellar. And Foka says hello from Poland. Heck yeah! One of my best friends is Polish. She is from Poland. If I could remember, it's hard to remember the name of her city, but her name's Agnieszka. So Agnes. So hello, welcome. Um, so yeah, a lot of grading yesterday. I was trying really hard to get through all the grading. I got through my freshmen quickly, but my seniors are doing speeches. So and I don't want to rush through their speeches. So I watched their full 5 to 7 minute speeches that they uploaded to me, and I used the rubric to, grade their speech. Basically, I mean, I'm grading fairly easy. It's just, I just want them to practice certain like speech techniques. But it was so nice to see them all in their videos, and some of them were standing in their backyards or next to their pool, or in their room, and and some of the boys' rooms looks like typical boys' rooms, and the girls' rooms look some very typical girls, and some of them are very. I have a lot of surfers this year. Like a lot of my students are surfers. It's interesting the group of kids that comes through, and so you know. I used to surf a lot, so I have a lot of surf posters in my classroom. So I get along with a lot of my students. We like get to talk about surf culture. So it was interesting seeing like all their like surf posters all over their rooms and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. Um, Aries says, happy days are coming. And they are. And Garrett said, yes, we have basements. So definitely, run down there if called to. Always be careful. Err on the side of caution. So yeah, I got to watch all their speeches. I think I started watching their speeches at like 10:30 or 11 a.m. yesterday, and I finished watching the last speech at like just after midnight, because I wanted to get through all of them, and I don't like having stuff to grade the next day. So I would rather like spend my whole day grading than have to like break it up into multiple days. I'd rather just like be done. And Jeff is here. Hello again, Jeff. How are you? All right, all right. So it looks like we got a good amount of homies in here. So yeah, like I said, here in sunny San Diego, Wednesday is supposed to be our super hot day. So Jeff is okay today. Well, that's good to know. Hopefully it's sunny over there, wherever you are. It's pretty sunny here. It's probably going to be in the upper 80s today, Fahrenheit. Um, well, it would have to be Fahrenheit, because if it was Celsius, you'd be dead. So, this coming week, will be in like the 90s, which is like in the like 30 something degrees Celsius. And then it's supposed to be over 100, like well over 100 on Wednesday. So I'm gonna make sure that I really soak my plants on Thursday evening, so that it doesn't burn off during the day. It's good to, from at least from where I live, those of you that have the green thumb and are gardeners, I like to water the plants at night, so that way they have like a good amount of like soaking, and the sun isn't like burning off the moisture and stuff like that. And then the next day, burning hot. So definitely water those kumquat trees. Definitely water like, well, probably even some of the desert plants we have. Definitely water my bamboo, because it gonna die. Uh, and my roses and the avocado tree. um, Aries says, thanks. Garrett said, are your students required to pass this year? And Garrett said it's 77 there in Ohio. That's nice out. Yes. What we're doing, we're called, it's no harm grading. So the assignments that my students have to complete each week, for the distance learning, if they are doing the assignment, basically we're grading. It's like the easiest grading in the world, because we're trying to be as we're the district wants us to insert grace into our grading. So we have to understand that, all the other factors that could be going on with students, being maybe unhappy at home, or, having whatever. And I try to keep an open dialogue with my students. So a lot of them let me know, because I put like a little check-in sheet for them every week. And it's like, tell me whatever's on your mind, and tell me how you're feeling. Like they have to check the little like happy emoji, sleepy emoji, angry emoji, because I want to know what mood they're in. And so they fill that out. And then some of them let me know like, hey, I got a new dog, or my dog passed away, or my grandfather passed away a couple weeks ago, or, so I kind of get a gauge of where my students are like mentally. But when I grade their stuff, it's basically Did they complete the work? And I'm not being too critical if they got the work done correctly. So it's like I'm giving them the points just for getting it done, and then I might leave them some suggestions of like, hey, you know, when you answered this question, you might want to do da, 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 or look at it this way, just so that they're still learning, but I'm not like docking them severely for like not getting it 100% perfect, because we're not there face to face and I can't help them directly, you know, even though they could come to my online office hour and stuff. It's just, I don't think it's the same. So, if they don't do the work, meaning they're not engaging, we put an I, meaning for incomplete, in the grade book. So that way their grade isn't affected at all for not doing the assignment. And so that way, if we do get a hold of them or they do decide to start doing some work, they can go back and do that assignment, and then that way raise their grade, but we can't lower their grades. So any assignment we give them, we can't lower the grade at all. So meaning no harm grading. So we can only boost their grades or keep their grades the same. We can't lower the grades. So by the end of the year, I think this Monday, we should be receiving from our district what we're going to be doing on transcripts. It's either going to be it's not pass fail because that's different. So it's going to be pass no mark. No mark means like you never took the class at all, so it doesn't harm their transcripts. But I think we're going to go for a letter grade, because although the California universities are accepting pass fail, pass no mark on transcripts for incoming freshmen for the fall, there some universities outside of California are still going to require a letter grade. So I think we might have to still administer a letter grade at the end of the semester. We'll see. That's all teacher talk. Let's get back into some woo-woo talk. Ruchi said, you are a super teacher. Oh, thank you. And Sheldon, hello, everyone. Guess who's back, y'all? It's Sheldon the Reaction. What's up, boy? I hope you're doing well. So anyway, all right. So Jeff says the WWE SmackDown yesterday TV. So definitely go check that out. Jeff is always letting us know when the SmackDown is happening. So thank you, Jeff. Alrighty. So, like I said, I have a topic for you guys today. And it was like, as I was like pulling stuff out of my nightstand, and Richie's like, hey, Sheldon. Sheldon said, how's it going, everyone? I was like pulling some stuff out. I was like, you know would be a fun topic for all my homies here. Different divination systems, because I know most of us like to use the tarot, but there's so many other things that you guys could use to divine. And let's see, Garrett said, I passed the 8th grade and I am a freshman, the lowest level in the barrel. We do pass incomplete. Well, Garrett, in just a couple months, maybe month and a half, you're gonna be a sophomore. You won't be the bottom of the barrel anymore. And Trisha's here. What's up? She said, hey all, and happy Saturday. What's up? Okay, so I want to get into some different divination systems. And divination to divine is, well, exactly what it means. Divine, to connect to the divine in yourself, and what I believe is like source energy, which is what we're all connected to. So when we say we connect to the divine, we're connecting to that soul level of ourselves, as well as that conscious energy that we are all connected to. We're all part of that kind of universal soul, maybe so to speak. So some people try to tap into it to look into maybe possibly the future, or maybe different futures that could be laid out depending on the choices that you make. But remember that everybody has free will, and so does everybody around you. So if you're trying to figure out the future of something, you have to factor in that everybody around you is making choices, and their choices are also like directing the flow of the future, you know. So the future is amorphous. It's not set in stone. It's always changing and evolving. And you know, even me right now, you guys are watching me here on this live chat. You know, we're making the choice to be here, and everything that I say is leading to like a different outcome, as our thought processes change and evolve and things like that. So it's like, uh. And Olivios is here, or Olivos? So this first time here, saw your lovely happy face and decided to stop in. Hello from Chile, from a sacred feminine painter and oracle deck creator. Thus, I love the topic. All right, we have an international group in here. So we had some love from Poland earlier, and I know some of you guys across the US and outside the US and Chile. All right, that's awesome. Actually, I was just looking up stuff in South America yesterday, so that's very interesting. Okay, so in for some people, in order for them to connect to the divine in them, and sometimes people would like to do this, yes, to find out what could be possible outcomes. Because remember, nothing's set in stone. What could be possible outcomes if I made X, Y, and Z choice? Or you could be divining, connecting to the divine in you and the divine all around you, to be like, okay, I would like to, just kind of get a little insight into my day, or I'd like to journal a little bit. You guys all kind of tap into it for lots of reasons, all the reasons I probably wouldn't be able to come up here. Oh, she said my name is Claudia. Hello all, I am USA and Chile, 6 months here and 6 months there. Oh wow, so back and forth, though it may be longer in Chile this time because of COVID. Yeah, they've had to, I think, limit the number of flights kind of going international and everywhere. So, but from what I hear and the pictures I've seen, Chile is a beautiful place. So not a bad place to be, I guess. And Apurva is here. Hello. Okay, so there are various things that I use to get messages, insight, just things to ponder, maybe for shadow work, or maybe just to kind of, clarify a jumbled mess of thoughts that are in my mind. That's kind of why I might do all of this. Claudia said, it is gorgeous, but going into winter. Okay, no winter for me. I am like a little lizard. I must be on my hot rock. I must be where it's warm, which is why I'm in East County over here in San Diego. It's like a lot warmer over here. Okay, so the list or the things that I have here are not exhaustive. There are people that use so many other things for messages to gain insight into their day, messages from spirit, messages from, gods and goddesses. Aries' passage from a book. Yeah, there's so many things people could use. So what I have here is definitely not exhaustive. So don't think I know every single thing that people do out there, because some stuff people do, they only know about it because it's personal to them. And I think that's the best type of divination, or the best type of work that you could do to gain insight into yourself or to the dimension around you, the place all around you, energies around you, is when you make it personal. It's great to learn systems. That's fantastic. But I think the best system is one that you guys come up with. And you guys probably all did that as children, but have probably forgot it by now because you thought it was just like make-believe or childish things. And me, I'm kind of a big kid, so I've just remained a child. Sort of. A child at heart. So there were a lot of things I used to do as a kid to say, okay, if like this happens, then I'm gonna have a good day, or stuff like that could be considered a part of divination. Oh, Apurva was talking about Claudia's oracle deck. Yay! Okay. So let's look at the stuff that I have. Let's see, which way should I go? I'm gonna start from here. I'm gonna move back because I have everything in a line. And Amanish is here. Hello. Okay, so the first thing that I like to do, and I've done this since I was a kid, is bibliomancy. Grab any book. I like to use kids' books, but I just kind of grabbed this book off of my shelf, which was a gift from my friend. It's Daughters of the Earth. And bibliomancy, what you do is Let's say I'm trying to look into a situation, just trying to gain some clarity, or maybe I have such strong feelings about a situation, it's hard for me to think clearly because my emotions are the overriding factor, or I'm so much in my head, I can't feel my emotions. They're there. It's just sometimes our heads get really clouded. Um, and Sheldon says, I love, oh, you have this book? Because I haven't really had time to read it yet because I've been reading so many other books. I'm so happy um, to have, I'm grateful for the time I've had to finally read. Like, thank you. So, this is the next book. I'm almost done with the other one. This is the next one. Um, Bibliomancy. Amanisha wants to know what it is about. So it says the lives and legends of American Indian women. So basically, it's different Native American cultures, both northern and southern America, um, and kind of like how society was run, you know, through the lens of females. So there was the author. I think it was author, and then there's a couple other people that are part of it. So this, yeah, this is the author, but there was also some help where they did some research and they got like firsthand stories from different various women from various tribes, you know, from like folk knowledge and ancestral knowledge, and it's just like I can't wait to dive into this one. It sounds like pretty freaking awesome. But excuse me. Let's see. Claudia said, what are the chances that I never came on YouTube for lives, but I'm baking today and brought this in the kitchen for company. You know what? I love to do that whenever I'm listening to like Kellyanne Maddox or Kelly Bear or Simon from the Hermit's Cave, and I listen to like the YouTube lives, or sometimes they're just like chats that they have. Um, I'll be doing stuff in the kitchen and I'll just like have it on. Amanisha says, cool, I'm getting a tattoo right now. And the guy who is doing it is Native American. Oh my gosh, like right now, right now. What is it of? That is so cool. Um, yeah, is it like arm, back, like where and what? I must know. um, so, bibliomancy. Anybody can do this because I'm pretty sure you guys have books laying around, any type of book. It could be even be an academic book, it doesn't matter. It says, I love everything Native American, all of the Americas. Yes. And just like my ancestors on my dad's mother's side from South America, so South American Indian, down in Mexico, which would be current day Sonora, but Pima Indian. So, yay, that's us. Amanisha said, yes, Ganesha on the whole hand. So cool. Ganesha is such a powerful energy that I love working with. I work with him quite often, actually. Okay, so bibliomancy, what that could be is, let's say, let's look at the energy of the chat today. I would just go until I feel like I should stop. And then I would run my finger until I get to like a paragraph or a sentence, or it could be a word, you choose. And I look down, and I'm just looking at part of a sentence. It says, middle of the house all day long. So maybe that's a message for me to get outside today. Maybe go out in the front yard, maybe, you know, go out in the backyard, go take a walk in my neighborhood since it's a gorgeous day, but there's nobody out. Yeah, so this could be just a message where it says, middle of the house all day long. I'm like, okay, so I don't want to be in the middle of the house all day long. The birds are chirping outside, bees are a buzzing, butterflies are a fluttering, you know? It's time to go out. So yeah, just a little message. So interesting. You guys can do that. Bibliomancy, pretty easy, and it's also a way for you to practice working with your intuition. What is intuition? It's that little voice inside of you. Maybe not an actual like voice that you're hearing, but it's like your gut feeling where you're like, I kind of feel like what that means to me is, and you fill in the blank. That's your gut, that's your intuition, that's the little voice inside of you. That is the divine in you. Or you're like, I just want to look at this one word, or I want to read the whole paragraph, and I think this means something to me. That's totally up to you. You're the one that's divining for yourself. You go with it. So this is one way I do divination is with bibliomancy. The next one, of course, you guys know because it's in my title, kittens, weights, and tarot. So of course I love using tarot cards. Um, and this one is a system. Of course, I didn't grab all the cards because I don't think I need all of them right now. Aries says, I have never spent so long on Etsy looking at my favorite deck with the cute sun card. Yes. um, you know, if I dig the strength card and I dig the fool card, I'm probably going to like the deck. I have to dig those two things. And Ionis here says, a beautiful day in Philly. Hey. So it sounds like it's pretty nice all around. Even, you know, Claudia in Chile, it's even though going into winter, still gorgeous. So, beautiful day all around. Okay, so with tarot, there is a system, and there's certain, I would say, energies or feelings, certain keywords, but there's a lot of synonyms that you could find for the words for each card. So let's say we get to, like Two of Swords. Two of Swords, of course, is like maybe looking inward. The swords are the mind, making some sort of mental decision or getting more clarity on a decision or some sort of inaction that's going on. It's a bunch of words and phrases that are associated with each image, on the cards. And there are other systems, obviously, other than tarot out there. There's Marseille, and there's Lenormand, there's Kipper, and there's tons of other things that people could use, and oftentimes there's other symbols that are in the cards, and those all mean things too, and people could really do some deep dive study, if they wanted to. Of course, it's not a requirement, but me, I consider myself an intuitive reader, so yes, I would think about what the meaning of the card is, but I'm also looking at the image itself, which is why I have like so many decks, because I like to look at art from different perspectives. When artists decide, well, in my perspective, the Two of Swords looks like this, or the Two of Swords looks like this, or sometimes they don't use human beings at all, or they use animals, or they just use like floral, like flowers and things like that. It helps give me a different perspective on the situation and the meaning, and so then I start going with my gut. I start morphing the meaning with what I'm feeling. And Claudia said, because of the fact that many of us are shut in, I have a divinatory challenge going right now. Really? With my paintings, there are 6 of them. I am posting number 3 now. It's all about divination from the images. That's freaking fantastic. Everything you are saying, yes. So, wow, that's freaking awesome. I need to go check that out after this chat. Mental note. So, I mean, I got a lot of decks sitting next to me, and I'm not going to pull out all the Two of Swords, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. And Missy's here. Hello. How are you? So yeah, so that's why I like the tarot, because I get to, again, tap into my intuition. Ayana said, nice pun. Yes. I get to tap into my intuition. Plus, I get to pull from, all the tarot books I've ever read and stuff like that. She said, good, and you? I'm doing well. Like I was telling everybody, it's sunny outside and the birds are chirping, and I've been hearing the hawks, the red-tailed hawks lately in my neighborhood, really doing their mating call lately. So I expect there will be some baby hawks pretty soon. A lot of mating calls going on as of late. Aries says, guarded heart, limited communication. Exactly. Swords is also communication. And, even when I show that card, you guys could come up with like, each one of you could come up with a list of keywords and thoughts and phrases for that one particular card. And none of them would be wrong, because it would be like a mixture of what you guys know the meaning to be, but also with what you guys feel called to, like your intuition. And I'm all about always following what's in here. You know, it's great to have these external tools, as gorgeous as they may be. You know, I am a lover of, you know, cards and things like that, and all things sparkly. Um, but really, the divination is coming from the inside. You're just being consciously aware of what's on the inside by using these tools. You're like, okay, I'm trying to sort out what my gut is trying to tell me. So it really is you talking to yourself, and it's not the tools themselves. As magical as they are, they can only come to life in your hands. Otherwise, it's just a deck of cards, or it's just a book, or it's just a crystal, you know, until you hold it and you are giving whatever's going on meaning. Wow, I'm getting all deep on you guys. How about that? um, Claudia said, I feel that oracle cards give me more room for divination than tarot. Do you use them? I have many more oracle cards than I do tarot cards. And actually, that brings me to the next thing, oracle cards. And oh, do you guys recognize this? This is my oracle deck. My Wally's World Oracle, yes. So I had people in the community donating images of their favorite sacred spots, as well as mixing in my places that are sacred to me. Amanisha is teaching card reading, Oracle, Tarot, and Lenormand. Hey, hey. So yeah, there's a lot of awesome teachers like Amanisha. Definitely go check her out. That, you know, can help you with understanding maybe some like cards and how to read them. And then after that, it's all your intuition, baby. Missy said, pretty oracle. Well, thank you. Yes, Claudia, deck creators, what's up? So yes, this is my Wally's World Oracle, and there are all different kinds of oracle decks, and there really is no system to an oracle deck. It's images and sometimes keywords, not all the time. Like my deck, I opted for no keywords because I'm all about the intuition. And although yes, I have so many other decks that have keywords, and I appreciate them. Again, for me, I'm just going with what I'm getting from it. And so with this deck, yes, there's beautiful images from all over the world. You don't have to know where these images are. This is Cuba, by the way. This is, I love that, all about the intuition. Yes, so I have symbols on here. Yes, you know, like I have my triangles, which are like stability for me, and the circles here is actually a split of the infinity. So there's like an infinite amount of energy, and I have a bunch of like meaning that I put into the cards. However, anybody who's ever gotten my deck, I'm like, you use it however you want to use it. So if these symbols mean something else to you, you go with that. You know, if these roses mean something else to you, because these are actually roses that I took pictures of from my garden, they have a very personal meaning to me. But somebody else who picks up the deck, they might be, okay, I associate red roses with this, and white roses with this, and orange roses with this. And they could look at this place and be like, you know what, I don't know where that place is, but this is the feeling that I'm getting from it. And that's oracle cards, you know, when you're trying to, um, you know, gain insight into something, again, trying to flesh out what's going on in your head or your heart, or, you know, the world around you. You're just trying to make sense of something. Maybe you're doing shadow work. Maybe you're just trying to get some insight into your day. You could grab an oracle deck and like just give it a little shuffle and be like, what's the energy of today? And I turn it around. Nice. I turn it around, and maybe I don't know where this place is. Actually, I do know where this place is. My best friend out in Phoenix took that. So that's Phoenix at sunset, Phoenix, Arizona. But maybe I didn't know that. And I'm like, wow, I see the sun setting. It's gold. I have all these rays. I feel like today is going to be like a magical day. Like there's so much potential with this day. Yeah, I'm going to tap into that energy, you know, and that's how I could go into it. I could look at other things like, okay, it doesn't seem to be many people out. Actually, there's no people in this image. It's kind of vacant. Maybe it's time to create some just silent time for myself. You know, you take it however you want, because it's your intuition. Like I said, even my deck, as gorgeous as I think it is, because you know, maybe I'm impartial. It could be, it's just a pretty deck of cards until somebody picks it up and gives these cards meaning, you know. Um, see, and Rog Rob, hello. Well, that's kind of a tongue twister there. So happy I found this channel. Can't wait to learn and see more. Excellent. Besides, I love kittens and lifting weights and tarot. Heck yeah. Actually, I got to do my workout later today. I've been doing my two-a-days. So morning workout, evening workout. It's been working out pretty good. Working out pretty good. Aries says, sometimes I love the guidebook more than the deck. And the guidebooks too. They have, so much more, so much information. And a lot of people, they get their, well, literally get their messages from there. But again, it has to be translated through you. You're reading what the author had to say, yes, but you're applying that meaning to what question it was that you're asking. So again, even the guidebook is just a book with some words in it until you give it meaning. um, it says deck is simple and deep. Yes. And Rob said guns. Yeah, I have to be careful. Take you guys to the gun show. Flips. I'm Regina. Okay. So yeah. Well, my left arm is not as ripped as my right arm, but Anyways, so okay, so yes, those are the oracle cards. Another system or tool that I use, I guess we're just going to be in the cards for a little bit and then we'll look into some other tools, is just playing cards. And this I've used, not this particular deck, but playing cards I've used since I was, I don't know, I'm trying to remember back 5, 6 years old. That's maybe as far back as I can remember using cards for the first time. I would just have some regular old playing cards, and I had the cards that didn't have pictures except for the, your king, queen, and knight, and a page, basically, or just king, queen, knight. But when I was a kid, not only did I use them on the spokes of my bicycle so that I could sound like a motorcycle. Missy says, I've been getting into charm casting reading and charms. Yes. You guys ever watch the channel Charmed Intuition Tarot? You need to go see her because she makes me want to have a whole pot full of charms. She is so good with the charm readings. I love her charm readings. It's cards and charms and it's freaking awesome. But I would shuffle the cards when I was a kid, and I would just shuffle just to shuffle. I didn't even know why I was shuffling, but I would just shuffle. I just liked trying to do all the I would see magicians do different shuffling things, and I tried to mimic that, and I always thought that was a lot of fun. Oh, okay, so Charmed Intuition is the one that got you into it. Yeah, she is so nice. She is a nice person, and she is freaking awesome and creative. But when I was a kid, I really connect with the number 4 and even numbers. Yes, cartomancy. And I love the 80s tarot. Oh, yes, the 80s tarot. The name of the channel, Charmed Intuition Tarot. So yes, definitely go check it out. Charmed Intuition Tarot. And if anybody wants to type that out so you guys can see, please do. Oh, as I say, the number 4. The number 4 is there. So if I would get an even number, or if I would get a 4, or if I would get a heart, it meant something very positive to me when I was a kid, because I'd be and I don't even know where I picked this up from. This was, there we go. Thank you. I would be okay, there was this kid next door named Tony. And I would be, will Tony be able to come out and play today? And I'd do my little shuffling with my deck of cards. And I was like, if I get a heart, it's a yes. If I get a heart, it's a yes. And oh, I got a spade, And so I'd be his mom's probably going to make him do chores and he's going to have to stay inside. And I picked that up, I don't even know from where, because nobody read cards around me, nobody. And so I just kind of came up with my own little system. And that's why I say you guys come up with your own little systems. Like for me, like a sword was like a definite no. And like a heart was always like a super positive, like yes to any question that I had. A 4 was always meaning something lucky, like my lucky day. Because 4 has always been my lucky number. It just like always has been. And odd numbers, I never really liked odd numbers, so it always meant something difficult or hard or no, negative, and that's just like a system I came up with when I was like 6 years old. Yes, Aries, like making a cake. You're making up the ingredients yourself. So that's why I think I like cartomancy, and it's obviously morphed how I read, just regular playing cards now, just because like I know so many other like card systems, and that definitely like influences what little 6-year old me came up with. So it's a little different now. Katie said my boyfriend only likes even numbers. So funny. Yeah, I have no explanation why. I'm just like an even number kind of person. Like even when I had toys, and we used to get like the toys from like McDonald's or out of the cereal box, and it was like collect all 6, and I was like, yes, I must have all 6, or 4 of them, or 2 of them, but I can't have 3 of them or 5 of them. I don't know. I'm just a weird kid, Okay, so let me put these away and show you guys another. Get in your box. You know you want to get in the box. Okay, go to your home. Another system I like is fortune telling cards. This is an older, much older deck. It's this deck from like 1920 something, 1930 something, but it's really old. It's been taped together and held together. Oh wait, did I actually tape it shut? No, I didn't. I was like, did I tape it shut? And this one, you could have a system with it, but again, it's one that I just kind of like came up with it. Fortune cookie cards. Yes, Thunder. V has some fortune cookie cards that she's been coming up with. Yes. But this one has like different like people in it, and just like little keywords. It's in a bunch of like 4 different languages. But you could put the cards together and just read them in a straight line as if you're reading a story. Like let's say I put down the officer, the judge, jealousy, and the sweetheart. Okay, and I'm like, officer, judge, jealousy, sweetheart. Are we in divorce court? I put it together in my mind. I'm like, okay, officer, okay, like a police officer. Police officers and judges usually is like a court system, and like being brought into court. Jealousy and a sweetheart. Was there somebody that got cheated on and now they're getting divorced? So you just read it like a story, and you go with, again, whatever your gut is telling you. All right, Missy is off, so you have a great day, Missy. And Jillifer asks, do you know what 111 means? So that's another thing, numerology. Wow, I didn't even bring my numerology book out. But yes, I like working with numbers. In fact, I was just talking about numbers, like 4 being my lucky number. There are associations with numbers. Some people associate like angel meanings to numbers. And I think the overall gist of the numbers is the same. It's just kind of like people have applied different viewpoints, kind of like with cards. So like for me, 111, those are like new beginnings. And some people say, oh, that's the angels trying to talk to you. But for me, it's like something new, something starting, something beginning. The one, kind of like the Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. It's all some sort of something new happening. 111. One. So for me, when I get that a lot, it could be, I'll look at the clock. It says 11:11, either in the morning or in the late evening. And I could be like, either something new is beginning, or it's time for me to get out of a rut and I need to make something new. And that's just like my translation for myself. But I know there's a lot of really good books on numerology. Let's see. On my bookcase, I have one called Messages in the Numbers, and that's by Alana Fairchild. Yes. So if you want to look for at least maybe that book, there's a lot of other books though. But yeah, I have Alana Fairchild's book, Numbers and the Messages. Or no, Messages in the Numbers. Yes. That's the name of that book, Messages in the Numbers. So that's a good one. And it talks about like certain numbers being with other numbers, like ones when it's with fours, like 1144. Like, what does that mean? And again, I just kind of go with my intuition. I love numerology. 379. Wow. Those, see, for me, I'm like odd numbers. But I do know I kind of connect it with tarot as well, you know, so that's like what goes on in my brain. I'm like reading books that have certain numerological meanings associated with the numbers, but then I also think about the numbers in tarot, and I'm also like, you know, putting and then my own spin of what I think about evens and odds. And this says that makes sense. I had a motivation to start witchcraft recently. Well, there you go, new beginning. Um, Katie said, do you find certain tools better for certain kinds of readings, like practical relationships, predictive? Um, I do, and I kind of just, I mean, if I'm going to do a love reading for somebody, I'm going to use probably this certain, there's one particular deck of tarot cards that I always use for my relationship readings, because that's just the one that works best. It's called the Romantic Tarot, and it's just the one that works best for me. I kind of think it all depends too. Sometimes I won't use my cards for like a couple of weeks because I'm only using runes all of a sudden. Like I'll be like just like on a runes kick, or you know, I just get on these like weird kicks where I go back and forth through the tools that I have. But I always come back to cards because that's kind of how I started as a kid. So like cards, I've always loved having cards in my hands and just shuffling them. So I would say like the system I always come home to are like oracle cards, tarot cards, fortune telling cards, Kipper, Lenormand, you know, all of those. And then sometimes I get into my kick with my other systems, like seashells. If I'm down at the beach or I have seashells that I use here, I'm always gonna read seashells. Like seashells, like I love reading seashells. Conchomancy. Okay, another system that I like that I just mentioned was Kipper. Kipper is, I guess if you want to go back in history, like certain groups didn't want to use the Lenormand system, you know, the French system. They wanted to come up with a system of their own. So they came up with a system called Kipper, which is very similar. You know, I would say fortune telling cards, Kipper, Lenormand, they're very similar, but they may not all have the same exact kind of cards, but it's all 36 cards, which is like same number of like, I think, no, same number of playing cards would be 54. 52 or 54, but 36. Hey, Sherry Bug. So here we go. A little bit different on the keywords here. You have like gloomy thoughts, living room, like unexpected money, and there is a system that goes along with this as well. And you can kind of put these into like a 6-card spread or 9-card spread, and it's like if this one is next to this one, it means this, and so it can get pretty complicated with Kipper. I kind of put off learning this one for a while. But I think I got the hang of it. I just wouldn't say it's my, it's like one I would go to a lot just because I don't think I have quite the hang of the system yet. But if I just wanted to read it intuitively, I could do that. Okay, let's look at another system. Lenormand. That one I am really proficient at. And this is one of my Lenormand decks. And Claudia said, colors are very meaningful to me. Yes, colors, but I've not seen books, spiritual, mystical meaning of color outside of chakra and psychological meaning. Though I think personal meaning is a must. Oh, Cold as Fire is here. It says, late, hello. Hope everyone is well. We're doing great. Welcome, welcome. You are not late. um, colors, colors, colors. Oh, you know, I have a deck. It's called, let me see if I can find it. Um, Give me a second. I think I can find it, you guys. Okay. This one, which I keep in this little, oh, hey, can you tell that's like one of my favorite colors? Sherrybuck said, I stick with RWS and Marseille because there are so many different card types that I can't learn them all. And I think that's what stops people from maybe trying to learn any of the systems, because they're like, they hear about all these different types of systems and all these different meanings and all these different symbols and all this everything that they don't even want to jump in. It just seems intimidating. Where for me, I'm like, okay, just pick up any deck of cards. You know what? Pick up a deck of playing cards, or a little, like for me, I also used Old Maid. I do have my Old Maid set over there. I played with Old Maid when I was, a little kid, and I used to get meanings from that. I would say just start with a deck of cards and pull a card and be like, what does that mean to you in relation to your question? Like, let's say you got a six of diamonds, in your card deck. Like, what do diamonds mean to you? Anything positive, negative feeling? When you see a six, you got any sort of associations with a six? Okay, put it all together. Now, what are you feeling? Like, what does that mean to you? And some people are like, whoa, I don't know if I'm wrong. If it's coming from you and you're looking for an answer for you, you is only talking to you. You can't be wrong. um, it says, I love Old Maid, but never use them for divination. I did as a kid. Aries says, too many systems to learn. Yes, there's a lot out there. It's great if you want to learn one, two, three, or more. But I say the first system you need to learn is your own. Like the language that you on the inside, your soul, your spirit, the divine in you, what language does that speak? And you've probably been divining since you guys were kids and you just didn't even know that you were doing that. Like sometimes we look at clouds in the sky like, ooh, a doggy. That cloud looks like a doggy. And all of a sudden you feel like you're in a really good mood and you don't know why. You were divining that, maybe you should have a more positive outlook or, whatever it could be. Coldest Fire says, yep, I did a pick a card with Pokemon included with the tarot. That is awesome. And Claudia said, yes, I totally agree. This is exactly what I want people to understand with my paintings and cards. I love it. We'll guide people to this video. Yes, it is coming from you. Oh, thank you. Yes, it's coming from the inside. Like Claudia is saying, you is only talking to you. Use guys, want to use some proper grammar there. How do you know if a fae is around and what do their gifts look like? Um, it's a feeling. Again, it's all just all of these things, talking with energies, fae, gods and goddesses, reading cards, all of this stuff is all originating from the inside. So like for me, when I'm out in my garden, I feel like after I do a bit of gardening and I like unchoke some of my plants from like weeds and I give them some water and I'm just like chilling out there, I kind of feel like it just feels so magical. And when everything just feels good out there, I kind of feel like the plants and the fae are happy. I just feel like they're there and they're happy with the work that I've done to keep everything alive and healthy and vibrant. I do kind of feel when I'm out there that the fae are like, hey, do you know your kumquat tree is a little heavy with kumquats right now? Maybe you just trim that up a little bit, and maybe you give some offerings to the people around you. Like I've been wanting to do this. I want to leave some kumquats on the doorstep of the people next to us on either side and across the way, just like with a little note from your neighbors that put my address. Fresh kumquats, so that way they don't go to waste because we cannot eat all those kumquats. But it's for me, that's kind of what I feel like when I'm out in the garden is like little messages. Could be from the fae, could be from my plants. All I know is I'm getting some messages to like share the fruit of my yard. And you need to water this plant more. I don't know. It's just like a little nudging from my inside. Um, and Tarot Girl Live says, "Oh, you look nice." Well, thank you. Um, RB says, "Oh, you're a Gemini looking for an Aquarius woman." Well, we don't have a hookup meetup right now. We are all just kind of chit chatting. But I'm sure whoever you're looking for will make themselves go your way. And Debbie's here. What up, Snoop Debbie Deb? Okay. So, I was. Arby said, really? So yeah, I'm sure. Like, ladies in the room, Arby's looking. But right now, yeah, we're just chit chatting about certain divination systems. So you never know. Um, Colors. This is I hope. Hey, you never know, dude. Um, so colors. Somebody was asking about colors. I think Claudia was asking about colors. Although I don't know of any color books, I do know of color decks, and this one is my favorite. And the young woman, I mean, we're probably the same age, but I'm just gonna call her a young woman. Leticia, that's right. Um, that's the name of her company, and it's called the Deck of Color. So this is Deck of Color. Color spelled Colour, instead of the way we would spell it here in the States. And she's all about color. Like her, you could look her up also on Instagram. It's the same name, and she reads with color. She reads aura. That's the readings that she does. She doesn't really use cards. It's all aura readings, energy readings. She sees everything in color. Kind of like Sammy Menzo, if you guys know her channel. I mean, she's like pretty popular. She's super awesome as well. She smells in color, and she has emotions in color. Like, and she's an artist as well. She's a beautiful painter and sketch artist and stuff. And yeah, they see not only in color but smell in color, taste in color. They said that like when a month has a certain mood, it's in color. So yeah, you might want to check out her on Instagram. Um, she also has the same website, but she's applied like these meanings to all these different color cards. So these, I think it's a great deck. But yeah, she's all about the color. Doo, doo, doo. Coldest Fire says, I have heard they like shiny stuff. So if it goes missing, the Fae love it, and they love flowers from what I've read. Yeah, you know what I did? Because I've done little things where I've left like, I have like little mini teacups and stuff, like a little kid set. It's actually my grandmother's set from when she was a kid and she gave it to me. So it's really old. But every now and then I'll fill like a little one with like, well, I don't really have like milk in the house, but I have coconut milk. So I'll put like some coconut milk or almond milk, and I'll put like a little bit of honey, and I'll just like leave that out there in the yard. And if the ants get to it, I mean, the ants are going to get to it, the bugs are going to get to it. But I leave it as like a, hey, thank you for helping to keep my plants nice and happy. Let me know if my plants need anything. And I got a crystal one time, and it looked like a little fairy, and it's made of purple and green fluorite, and it was expensive, but it was gorgeous. And Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot was like, she says, I have a feeling like your garden would like to have that in it. And I was kind of getting that feeling too. And my very expensive crystal is sitting amongst my roses right now. And since I've done that, the roses are so much happier. And so, I don't know. Da, 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 just looking back. Hold on, I have to go back. And Joss said, love Leticia. She changed her name to Iris Ara. Oh, okay. So yes, look up Iris Ara. Yes, her readings are beautiful. I've had a couple by her. She is amazing. I have also had like, I think at least 2 or 3 readings from her. They are Awesome. So you guys, if you are into color and you would love to have like a color reading, an aura reading, I think Joss said her name was changed to Iris Aura. So um, look up Iris Aura. Just I love getting reading. Okay, yes, even readers get readings from other readers. I think that that's how it should be. That we all get readings from each other too, because sometimes it's hard to see things from for yourself, and everybody has different gifts and different ways of using their intuition. That I think it's fabulous. Not everybody can be, you know. 100% da bomb at like everything. You know, it's always great to get a different perspective. So I'm always like, hey, check out other readers too, you know? um, Claudia said, I use chakra readings for my card readings. I see everything in color too. I have to check her out. Yes, please check out Iris Ara and Samantha Menzo. Jennifer said, is there a Fey Mother Nature deity I could follow? I've been feeling a calling to that type of deity lately. By the way, I love your vids. Oh, thank you. Um, you know, I would probably just do, for me, I'm all about the Google search. And maybe it's just like the English nerd in me because I'm an English teacher, but um, like if there's an energy I'm feeling connected to and I'm seeing like a certain animal. It could be an animal energy that I'm connected to, and so I'll probably like just do a little bit of research on that animal, try to learn the animal medicine. But it could be more than that, and I'll be like, is there like a nature energy, or is it a god or goddess trying to contact me? So then I might do a little bit of research where I start plugging in all the things I've been seeing, like just like um, I don't know, as I look out the window, like crows, ravens, comma, nature, comma, like any other keywords. And then I might get a like a whole list of different like you know, folk energies, deities, you know, gods, goddesses, and they all, you know, fairies, fae, they might all come up, and I might just like research into a lot of them. Maybe not like too in depth. I'll like skim it until something like really hits me in the gut. Like, ooh, I'm like really feeling drawn to this one. I don't know. And it comes from a druidic nature, the druids. Well, that's interesting, you know, and so I do a little bit of research into there, and that's usually how I kind of understand what it is that I'm connecting to. Because I always put the intention out there that, hey, I don't really know who you are, but I understand you're trying to connect with me. I'd love to connect with you. But me, I'm a researchy type person. Please help me research you so I can learn more about you. So I always feel like whatever starts popping up on the interwebs, you know, and whatever direction I start going, I just start trusting my gut. And then I'm like, okay, this is who I felt I've landed on. And then when I start acknowledging it that way, then it's, I don't know, I think we build a stronger connection. But I kind of feel that they don't care what names we call them. Uh, it's just an energetic acknowledgement exchange. And hey, I want to work with you. I could call you Bob. I'm gonna call you Bob because I don't know, I don't have another name for you, but I think I just want to call you Bob. And sometimes they don't care. They're like, okay, call me Bob, but this is how we're gonna work together. um, let's see. Let me just go back. Creative Coffee's here. Hey. Um, Debbie said, I was looking up the Encyclopedia of Medical Plants book and it's so expensive. If anyone has it and would like to sell it, please let me know. Oh, that's right. Because I posted that I found some books on the Amazons and I'm all about buying used books. So I think the original price of that book is 40 bucks. I got it for 25 on Amazon's used market. Yeah, so used books. I'm all about those, especially the really big books that are like 40 and 60 bucks. I'm not paying 40 and 60 bucks for a book. I will buy it used. I don't care if people have highlighted on it and like folded, like dog-eared some of the pages. Don't care. I'm about the information. I don't care if it's a little dirty. Um, Coldest Fire said, yep, I put in my altar, the milk and honey and a glass skull I bought to fill with shiny things for them. Ooh, that sounds really good. Like, I would love to see a picture of that. I wish you guys could post pictures in the chat. Um, can you repeat her name? Oh, Sammy Menzo. You know what? Let me write it down for you. Since we're all visual here in the video here. There we go. Samantha Menzo. So yes, that was the girl that I was talking about. She's doing some vlogging right now while she is in quarantine. She just moved to Florida, by the way, too, with her dude. Okay, let's go into some other systems that I use. Okay, now we're gonna get out of cards. um, wow, I guess there's more systems that I thought, you know, because also I'm using color. There was numerology that I think it was Jillifer was mentioning earlier. Okay, going into one I don't use very often, but this one was actually from the Witch's Moon box. And it's scrying and black mirror scrying. So you could actually literally just take a mirror and, you know, some people like paint it shiny black. Some people get like a piece of obsidian or an obsidian sphere. This is obsidian, you know, it's got that shiny black to it. And I don't use it really all that often. I wouldn't say that's my strongest suit when it comes to finding messages, is the black mirror scrying or obsidian, you know, like this. But it's one I try every now and then. So I definitely have it like in my arsenal, but I wouldn't say it's like a big go-to of mine, but I know that some other people have that. Do I have a crystal ball? Yes, I do. I have a bigger one that I use for my actual crystal scrying sessions that I have on my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com, in case you're interested. But I do have like smaller crystal balls too, but there's one like big one that I saved up for, and it's smoky quartz, and it's by my bedside. So yeah, so this one's another one, and basically some people say to do it at night and light a candle. Other types of scrying people do, they fill like a bowl full of water, and then they go out during the moonlight and they try to catch like the full moon, try to catch the full moon's reflection in the water. And as the water glistens, they try to divine, you know, get some messages from there. Again, it's all gut feeling, it's intuition. Otherwise, it's just a bowl of water, you know? Because some people like to connect with moon energy. I know I do. I have a thing of moon water like on my altar. You know, so, you know, that it could be another way that you guys want to, you know, do some divining. Um, let's see, what's another one? Oh, some people do like smoke, like sage, like they smudge or they use incense and they try to like divine through scent and through smoke. Um, I tried that. That makes my allergies act up. I can't really do that one. Some people do flame. Um, let's see, Sharebug, do you use scullies for scrying? I have not used them for scrying, but I've used them for energetic messages. More like I hold the skull and try to tap into the energy of the skull, and that's where I get my message instead of scrying into them. But I know there are people that do that. So scrying is basically looking into something and trying to get a message from it. Like looking at the clouds, trying to get a message from it. Looking into a piece of obsidian, trying to get a message from it. Literally looking your eye, like looking yourself in the mirror, and which is actually kind of creeped me out since I was a kid because I don't know why. I just feel like it's so weird what the mirror does when you stare yourself in the eye. And maybe that's just me. You guys ever done that? Like I used to scare myself as a kid. I'd stare at myself in the mirror until that person doesn't even look like you. um, let's see. Aries says runes. Yes, I do use runes as well. I'm going to be showing them fairly shortly. Essence says great explanation. No, thank you. So yeah, so you know, some people look into water, some people look into flame. I don't really do flame scrying all that much, uh, just because I don't know. Like I feel like maybe I'm burning my corneas. I'm not really sure. I know it's just not as bright as the sun, but I'm like, should I not be looking into fire? I have looked into many bonfires as a child. Have I burned my corneas? I don't know. Sherrybug said, me too. I have tried that, but I finally have my scullies awake and talking now. Yay! Jellifer, how do you start witchcraft if you still live with your family and they don't support Wicca or witchcraft? I don't think that when people call themselves witches or practice witchcraft, it's what's ever at hand, and you don't have to do the whole pomp and circumstance with it. You don't have to make it a big show. Some people do, and that's great. That's their practice. They put on the robes, or they go skyclad, which is naked, outside, in nature, and they commune with the moon. And some people like they have big altars like mine, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's like I said, where all of these tools, they're basically just a pile of cards and just some crystals and stuff, because they come to life because of us when they're in our hands. The same as with witchcraft. The witchcraft lives in here. The magic is in here. You are the altar. So sometimes people say, "What should I put on my altar?" If you can't make a big show and like have a physical outward altar, like this, the altar is you. Your place of worship is inside of you. So if you want to decorate yourself, like for me, I like conchomancy. I love working with the ocean. So what do? I wear seashells. To other people, I'm just an island girl wearing seashells, and nobody is the wiser. But they all mean something to me. Okay, maybe my earrings don't, but my necklace does. My ring. I work with flowers, and flower energy. I make salves from flowers. So basically, I've decorated myself with intention. The color blue, this blue, is one of my favorite colors. It's one of my most healing colors. So me just like chilling here, having a live chat with you guys, I just look like I'm ready for the beach. I just look like I'm ready for the sunshine. And that could be how you practice your witchcraft. You decorate yourself, which is your altar, and you don't have to be like super fancy. Oh, thank you. Lunchtime. So yeah, so if you are living with your folks or roommates, or some people who maybe aren't as into whatever it is that you're doing, or maybe they don't understand, whatever it is that you're doing, your practice, it's, then you are your altar, you are the magic, you are the witch. It's all coming with you. If you like to work with plants, maybe you always have a bouquet of flowers, in your room, and that's technically your altar, but everybody just thinks you like flowers. So it could be like that. Um, let's see, let me go back. Garrett said, my mom went to the hospital. She fell on her knee because when me and my family went hiking, her body did a herky without her. Ooh, ooh. I hope your mom is okay. The knee thing. Ooh. I can sympathize with the knees. Cold as Fire. I love that series you did to improve your psychic abilities. Oh, I need to make another one of those, by the way. Thank you for reminding me. Tarot Girl, I leave my pendulum in the moonlight. You have a ritual for yours. Um, I sometimes like will sage my pendulum. Sometimes I really like using sound. So I use my Tibetan bowl really most of the time to like cleanse everything, like just with sound. I'm just like clanging on that Tibetan bowl and just like vibrating the whole house, and I feel just like everything, every tool inside the house then is cleaned. So you could do that. Um, Aries, do you charge your crystals under the full moon? I'll put some of my bigger crystals out, but really I have so many of them. I kind of feel like, and sorry if I'm gonna be like eating a little bit, I'm a little hungry. Um, I feel like the full moon's energy is powerful, just like the sun's energy. Um, Even though I'm not out in the sunlight right now, I could still feel the warmth, the happiness, and the joy of the sun coming in through my windows. I think the same with the moon. The moon penetrates everything it looks over. So your crystals may be in your house, but I feel like the energy doesn't stop at your roof. It comes in through the house and it's charging everything. So that's just like my thing. Some people like physically like to put them outside. I can't physically do that with all of my crystals. So I put the intention of like, moon, you come right through this house and you charge these crystals. mm. Tara Gross said, so nice the dude bringing you lunch. He is a fabulous cook, by the way. He does all the cooking in the house. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I am very spoiled. I love to eat. He loves to cook. It's a match made in heaven. And I'm a good baker. I'm not so good in the like cooking department, but I can bake. I'll tell you that. And the only thing I can cook is Filipino food, like my family's traditional food. But that's the only thing I can cook is only Filipino food. I can't cook anything else outside Filipino food. So yes, I need to eat these while they're still warm. So I guess we've turned this into a mukbang. Mm. I've never really wanted to do a mukbang though because I feel so weird like eating in front of you guys. I don't like to eat with my mouth full, talk with my mouth full. You want to eat with your mouth full, talk with your mouth full. Mm. Let's see. That's so sweet and looks so yummy. Always make me hungry. Jennifer, how do you initiate working with a deity energy? And what signs do they give you once they have accepted? Thanks for answering all my questions. No, no worries, no worries. A tarot mukbang, yes. um, so I did a video on like, I guess it was like a couple years ago now. How do you know deity wants to work with you? Um, and for me, like I was saying earlier, it's just being open to things that are a little out of the ordinary during your day. So let's say I'm looking out the window and I'm like, there is an inordinate amount of crows that are outside. Not right now, but usually there are. And you know, and then let's say, I don't know, I'm driving along that same day, maybe a couple days later. Hey, lady night, no worries. And I see a strange license plate. And it really stands out to me. And I start writing all these things down in my journal. Like, I've been seeing a lot of crows lately. I saw this really weird license plate, but it really stood out to me in like a weird way. So I might write that down, you know. Then I swore I heard like a wolf howling, but that's impossible because there's no wolves in my area. So you start writing out all these things that are a little out of the ordinary. And eventually, and this could take weeks, it doesn't all have to happen in one day. You're like, I'm pretty sure somebody's trying to talk to me, but I don't know who it is. So then that's when you go over to trusty old Google and you start putting in these things like maybe the keyword that was on the license plate, ravens or crows, a certain flower you keep seeing over and over, a certain color. And I put all these into Google and it might start giving you a list of, and I also put in the word like God or goddess. It might start giving you a list of them, of like different websites of where all those keywords connect with. And then from there, I'm like, oh, you know what? It kind of feels like the Morrigan. Wow, I don't really know much about the Morrigan. So I'm going to do a little bit of research about her. So I start diving in. I know I have some books on some goddesses. I have some goddess decks with great guidebooks. I start looking about the Morrigan. I'm like, holy heck, it's the Morrigan. She's trying to talk to me. What do I do now? So the first thing I do is just, hey, Morrigan, like, I know you're trying to talk to me, and I see your signs. So, how would you like to work with me? Again, I have to go through the process again of like things that I see in my day. They're a little out of ordinary. And I start writing them all down in my journal. And then after like a few days, few weeks, or whatever, it could be, I put them all together as if they were oracle cards. Think of all those keywords as keywords on oracle cards. And I start trying to put that message together for myself. You're just using your intuition. And I'll be like, okay, you want to work with me as it comes to my career, because a lot of career stuff's been coming up. That's interesting. All right, so let's work together. So I might just always be open to gut feelings. It might be her like nudging me on certain things. I'm just open to it, and that's kind of how like I work with, them. Um, I also like to do meditations with them. So I might do my nightly meditation and just ask Morrigan's energy to come in. And sometimes it'll just be her standing there and nothing happens. And that's fine. It's just could be, it could take a while just connecting with energy. So don't expect it to be like something that just happens like wham bam. It's just, it may take a while. Sometimes all your meditations will just be the deity standing there, and that may be months of that just happening because maybe they just want to hang out with your energy, and that's all. And then all of a sudden one day they're like, "What's up?" In your meditation, you're like, "Oh, okay," So I would say go from there. So that's kind of like my um, thoughts on that. Of course, it's not everybody's thoughts, but that's kind of how I start working with homies of the um, divine persuasion. Mm. Mm-hmm. Let's see what you guys are saying. Mm-hmm. Mm. Garrett says they have coyotes, and he's been seeing them more often than usual. Mm. I always think of coyotes as like the trickster energies, but like from Native American lore. You might want to look into that. That could be cool. Um, Excuse me. I just realized with the microphone, am I chewing really loud? Mm. Okay, other tools. Essence said yes. Sorry. I don't mean to chew so loud. Garrett said thank you. I knew someone would agree with me. Um, okay, I like conchomancy. So these are the seashells that I use whenever I'm doing conchomancy. Um, the meanings, I came up with the meanings myself. I actually drew them out on paper, and I just started applying meanings to them with ever how I felt like seashells energy was. And once I felt really good with like the number of seashells that I have, I just kind of like I came up with the number. Um, yeah, they became my try and true. So I actually use this one quite a bit. Um, and if my seashell breaks, I have other seashells, so I can replace it with something else, and it might have a whole different meaning, and that's totally cool. But I use this for my conchomancy reading. So stuff doesn't really have to cost money. If you live near the beach, or you live in the mountains, or you live in the desert, like you use whatever's closest to you. And I think it's best that you use what's around you. It's because your energy is saturated with the energy of your environment. So if I don't know, I just like my thing. I'm trying not to chew loud. Okay. um, Garrett said the coyote thing. Yes. Garrett said my great 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 grandma was Native American, so I agree with that 100%. Well, so then it could be great, 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 great grandma trying to talk to you, possibly your ancestors, um, and possibly the trickster spirit, which is interesting, which would kind of be like Loki in Norse mythology. And I love making connections across like cultures, like ancient cultures and like their gods and goddesses, deities, like all that stuff. I like seeing ones that are similar. They're not exactly the same. Even when people try to put like Roman and Greek, like let's say Venus and Aphrodite, they try to say it's the same person. I don't think so. I think they're two different people. They're very similar, yes, but I wouldn't say that they're interchangeable. So that's why I'm all about the research, people. Read up, read. It's the best thing we can do. Okay, what else do I have? Hold on. I'm going to have to take out my microphone because I have a low battery. So you guys can stop hearing my chewing. Just plugging in my phone. Do, 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 do. Alrighty, fully charged once again. Coldest Fire says, it was Beltane to Mayday. I really love the Green Man. Have you ever read about him? I first connected to him. I kept seeing different faces inside the trees, and I had to do some serious Googling. I have read up on the Green Man, not extensively because I don't think it's an energy that, or maybe it's an energy that works with me and I just like know it by something else. But I do know that it's a fabulous energy, so I think that that's fantastic. Me, I'm kind of like a little nature bug, so maybe it's the Green Man when I think it's just my plants talking to me. And I do believe there is an energy that resides in my tree, in my front yard. I just kind of call it grandma tree, grandmother tree. I don't have really another name. I just kind of feel it's like got some grandmotherly energy. Okay, another divination method. I have scrying. So this is a smaller version of the larger crystal ball that is on my nightstand. I do use this one though too. And so again, what is scrying? I'm just kind of looking at it, and actually I like crystals with inclusions. That's, you know, kind of like what looks like broken pieces on the inside, or bubbles, or not really bubbles, they don't have bubbles, but just like things that make it not perfect. Because when I look at them, kind of like you look at clouds, I start seeing images. You know, I might look at it and say, oh, that kind of looks like a whale. Actually, it does look like a whale. And then I start to think, what do whales mean to me? And I like to work with animal energy quite a bit. Like I work with animal medicine. And so I'm like, whales, they're massive, but they're also really gentle. So how does that like connect with the question that I was asking? You know, so it could be like that. Aries says, I hate when there is cardinal full moons. You know, I have a hard time sleeping around a new moon and a full moon. And that is me. So Sherry Bug said, yes, blessed Beltane. So yes, those of you in the north, happy Beltane. Those of you in the south, a happy Samhain. And Claudia also with the animal medicine. And Miss Melanie Dobos, hello. Any ideas for using things around the house for scrying or gazing? I don't have a ball and obviously can't go out and find one right now, but I'm intrigued. So yeah, I was mentioning there's a lot of things you can look into. You could take a mirror, a regular mirror, and stare yourself in the eye. That's actually one of them that some people do. Another one is to paint a mirror black, like a shiny black, you know, so if you wanted to have like an art project for a day, that's another one. You could have a bowl filled with water and look at look at it under the moonlight, so that the moon, you can actually catch the reflection in the water. Oh yes, and like Sherry Bug is saying, candle flames, clouds. Yeah, so yeah, this stuff you don't even need to buy. And you just kind of like whatever you see, like what do you see in the clouds? Like I'm asking the question, how's my day gonna go? And all of a sudden it looks like a rabbit like in the clouds. What does that mean? Maybe my day's gonna go by really fast. Maybe I'm gonna have multiples of awesome things happening, you know? And it's just kind of whatever you feel like the message is. And remember, all this outside stuff is really just what's on the inside of you trying to communicate with your conscious self, your human self. So my spirit is always trying to communicate with Tara here. And so you know, I'm just trying to translate what she's saying, the inside me, you know. So I'm always like an advocate of never feel like you're wrong. You can't do anything wrong, like, oh, I don't want to read this wrong, or I don't want to be wrong about an answer, because if it came from you and you genuinely feel that that was the answer, you can't be wrong. It came from your gut. It was you on the inside talking to you. You can't be wrong. Let's see. Claudia said, I have heard of tea. Yes, yes, I do tea as well once in a while, because I accidentally sometimes drink the tea leaves by accident. So if you don't mind accidentally drinking a tea leaf here or there, like a green tea leaf. But what's that called? Tasseomancy? I forget the name for tea. We'll just call it teomancy. But it's where you drink the tea and leave the tea leaves in there, and you kind of swirl them around with like the little bit of tea that's left, and whatever like shapes they make, again like clouds on the like inside of the cup, you know, you get answers from. And there's like a whole, there's like books and stuff where people get like all into it, but I think that's like the best way I can describe it. Clouds, coffee scrying. Yes, I have a lot of Middle Eastern students, and their families love to do coffee scrying. So when the coffee grounds are left inside, they take the cup and they put it upside down and they let it sit for like an hour or sometimes a day. And then when they lift it up right side up, they said their mom or dad can like, they know stuff, you know, they'll just like get an answer to whatever their question was. And sometimes they're trying to get an answer about their kid, like their son or something, and so they have their son drink the coffee, and then like their energy's in the cup, and then they turn it upside down. And it's like, I know a lot of some of my students, most of them are from Iraq, but a couple of them are from Turkey, and they do like the same thing. Let me see. And then there's the very Latino, and egg cracked into water. Yes, I also grew up with that as well, because I grew up in a neighborhood that was predominantly Mexican. Of course, I have Mexican ancestry as well, you know, from my nana. But I do know about the egg crack. That's also another thing. Jillifer said, my ancestors are Irish, and I have been feeling a strong connection to the goddess Bree. Do you know if that means anything? Could be like a just, well, actually this is, well, if you're in the northern hemisphere, this is like her season right now, like breathes fire, you know, with the spring and the May, and going into, you know, we're getting into the fires of summer, you know, as well soon. This is like her time. So if she's been calling out to you, she's like, hey, it's time to utilize this energy around you, possibly, you know. I would say sit in meditation, see kind of like what comes up. Aries has vivid dreams. Cherrybug, you can make a pendulum with a string and something heavy like a pendant, or even a nut like a screw, nut, bolt kind of thing. Yes, or a ring. Take your ring off, take a little piece of sewing string. Instant pendulum. And Carmen is here. Hello. Coldest Fire Sabri is one of my main goddesses that I work with, and if you feel her calling, research her. Yes. And Kayanat, hey, it says, hey Kitty, how are you? I am doing well. This is May I Ask 100. So we're not doing questions right now, but we are looking into divinatory tools. You know, I'm just trying to show you guys stuff that you guys could use, but it's not a necessity, because remember, the divine is already inside of you. Let me continue my lunch. Give me just a second. Our sausage is so good. One second. Yes, we are doing an unintentional tarot mukbang. I'm so sorry for having like a mouthful in front of you, but I'm so hungry. Okay, almost. Okay, let's look into something else. Aries says astrology. That's also something to get into. My nana, my dad's mom, was big into astrology. I've read up on it a little bit, but I wouldn't consider myself like super knowledgeable about astrology. I know a little. I mean, more than your sun, moon, and rising. Like a little, I know a little bit more than that, like the nodes and everything, but I wouldn't consider myself super proficient in it. I wouldn't really say it's my forte either. Sherrybug said, Cronus Saturn seems to be knocking on my door. He's pretty imposing to work with, having not worked with any male deity other than Christian male deities. Freaking Cronus knocking on your door. That's a freaking Titan. That's awesome. That is so cool. Well, maybe you could just let him know. You're kind of a big deal. You kind of intimidate me. How about you come at me a little softer, just a little softer. Yeah, no need to come at me, bro. So strong. In a most respectful way. Okay, other things. Somebody had mentioned earlier pendulum already. And remember, you can make a pendulum out of anything, really. A ring on a string could be a pendulum. A necklace, take your necklace off as long as it has like a heavy weighted pendant. That could be good. Pendulums, if I have too much emotional energy invested into a situation, I will not use a pendulum because I do believe I physically move the pendulum left or right, but it's the energy that's coming through me that is controlling the muscles in my hand that is moving it left or right. Um, but if I have too much emotional energy in the outcome of the yes or no, I won't use the pendulum because I know that I'll cloud my own answers. Um, Oh, Sherry Bug said, and the spirit boards. Yes, I have a couple of them. I have one really awesome one off to the side. I have another cute one that's up on my altar. It's a little kitty one. It looks like it's just a little kitty Ouija board. It's just so adorable. Anything negative or bad would have to make it through the kitties first, and that just wouldn't happen. So it's too cute for negative energy. um, Coldest Fire. That is cool. He came to me last year. Really big teaching year. Ooh. And Claudia said, yes, so true regarding the pendulum. Um, Aries does love. Wait. Oh, redacted the message. Sherry Bug, wow. You're the only person I've heard of that has worked with him. He keeps kicking me in the knee. Cronus has never knocked on my door. Jillifer, do you know any beginner spells that can strengthen friendships? You know what? Hold on, let me take another bite of my sausage, and I have one very quick one for you. And you probably have already done this. Okay. All right. So, a simple spell for strengthening friendships. You guys probably did this as when you were kids and didn't even know it was a knotting spell. Make a friendship bracelet. You know when you guys were kids. I don't know if all of you guys did this as kids. I know that my friends and I did. As we would take like string or yarn and we would braid it, or we'd make various knots around it with like different colored strings, and we'd make this little bracelet for our friends, and sometimes we'd put like little charms in it, like make it really fancy, or we'd put like neon colors because it was the 80s. You know, and we'd make one for our friend. We'd say this was for our everlasting friendship. And the friendship bracelets that I haven't lost or whatever, I think I have a couple from a couple of my friends that I'm still friends with since elementary school. So there's got to be something to those friendship bracelets, because the ones that I have lost, I've actually lost touch with those people. And the two friendship bracelets that still have not fallen apart, one of them from elementary school and one of them from high school, I'm still really good friends with those people even today, 30 some years later. So something to those friendship bracelet spells. So I would say if you're looking for a simple spell, make a friendship bracelet. So yours broke, so make a new one. It's possibly just time, with certain friendships. Let's say your friendship bracelet breaks. It's time to maybe change the energy in the friendship. And so you make a new bracelet to kind of put in this like new energy into your friendship. So that could be like something else. So it's not that you're losing the friendship, it's just you need to change the energy somehow of the friendship. So change up the bracelet. Coldest Fire, I did that. Even the rope versions were super cool. Yes, there were some that people made with like the plastic strips, and they did like little little chains, like a chain bracelet. I just used what I had at hand, which was my mom's yarn. My mom wasn't using it, so so I used yarn. Some of my friends used like string, like they would use like a bunch of little string and they put it all together. Some of my friends were really good at that stuff. Like they were really intricate. I was not that good. I just made simple braids, but in cool colors. um, it says, my toxic ex best friend gave me a friendship bracelet and I kept losing it near the end of our relationship. There you go. It was time to let that one go. So when you guys are asking about signs, those are signs. Like when you keep losing something, you have to stop and ask yourself, why do I keep losing that thing? Or if you keep seeing something over and over, why do I keep seeing this thing? Or this person's name, who I know, but I just keep seeing their name everywhere. It's like a sign. So I just finished backing and cooking, now sitting to lunch with you. Oh, well, welcome to lunch. Okay, see, what else do I have? This one I only use for fun, but I still think it's fun. And I've had this one since, I think it was in 8th grade. It's my Magic 8 Ball. I love Magic 8 Balls. Like I said, I don't really use it all often. I really just use it for fun, but hey, it's a fun thing. You guys can even make your own Magic 8 Ball. But that's another one. Coldest fire. I had a friendship bracelet. I was supposed to be, my friend stole it, and that friendship ended shortly afterwards. That's interesting. See what I'm saying? Oh, I forgot to bring out. I have another pendulum, but it's a magnetic one. You guys have seen it before, but it's basically pendulum, Magic 8 Ball. I don't use this one actually very seriously, so I would never use this in a reading unless I was trying to be fun. um, Somebody asked earlier about runes. Areas wish they could have kept a lot of things from childhood. I kept a lot of, well, a few things, but not everything. Some things I just kind of felt it was time to let those things go, but I do like using runes. Runes are a system. There's different, there's like witch runes and, you know, Nordic runes, and you know, it was a system I put off learning for a while because it seemed intimidating, because it was now symbols and not images, and I'm all about the visual. And so since I didn't have a visual anymore, it was just a symbol, it was really hard for me to connect that way through my intuition. But I have since learned runes, gotten really proficient with them, and now I am actually better at connecting with symbols too, just like I am my visual, like imagery. So I'll often see just like letters and things like that in my everyday, and now that has meaning to me. It's not just like pictures that I see. And so I think that using runes actually strengthened my ability to connect with symbols, which I think is awesome. Let's see, looking back. Coldest fire said, sorry about that, I'm all jumbled. Hey, no worries. I don't do very well like typing on the computer, like all my, or even on my cell phone, like my fingers get everywhere. I come out like boop beep boop. I also have Ted Andrews animal runes. These are basically like little teeny oracle cards. So it'll have an animal, and then it'll have a couple keywords. So like this one, I think is a leaf bug amongst some leaves, and it says caution, camouflage. You know, so these are fun to use. You know, there's all different types of like runes out there. You guys, there's my other runes. These are scarab runes, and this was actually a gift from a friend. They're all a bunch of little blue scarabs, but on the other side, they have a little symbol in them. And so if you're really into Egyptology and Egyptian mythology and things like that, you know, you can find runes or create your own runes, which go with whatever is fun for you. If you're into Pokemon, maybe you make some Pokemon runes, you know? Aries says, I had a workshop on runes. So yeah, and I have gone to, I've done a few like, you know, tarot workshops and intuition workshops. And back when I was like, not, I mean, I wanted to solidify more my understanding of my own intuition and that feeling of being more confident in being right. And I think it was just being more knowledgeable on the language that I speak on the inside. And once I took those workshops, it really wasn't about like um, being a guru at reading tarot or being a guru at reading runes or whatever it was. It was like, what do I connect with most in terms of language, like external tools and language, you know, that I can understand and read. And through there, I became more confident. So instead of using things that were intimidating to me, yes, even colors, um, I tried taking workshops and doing things that were interesting. Um, and then if I felt comfortable with them, I felt more confident in myself and the messages that were coming across, that they were really me talking to me. And I think that's another thing. Like, you choose a system, and it doesn't have to be something that you can buy. Like we were talking about, you can read clouds or sticks on the ground, you know, pebbles. Um, and if it really connects with you and you feel comfortable with it, and it's all about comfort. If you don't feel comfortable using a system, you're not going to trust the answers coming through it because you don't understand it too much yourself. So for me, I find Marseille intimidating. I'll admit it. And if I were to do a reading with Marseille, I would have to read it intuitively and not as a Marseille system. Because if I tried to focus so much on the system, I'm pretty sure I would jumble up the message that myself is trying to tell me. So, you first of all got to be comfortable with the system. So, if you like drinking tea, maybe start reading some tea leaves, you know, and if you feel comfortable with that, then that could be your system. And then later on, you know, as you get more comfortable with yourself and your intuition and understanding the language of yourself, you can start branching out and looking at other things. I wouldn't suggest maybe trying everything at once because then it becomes overwhelming. And when you become overwhelmed, people stop. So, uh, you know, there's that. Jennifer, I was obsessed with Egyptian mythology when I was little. Does that mean anything? Could have had a past life in ancient Egypt. I believe I did. My nana and my uncle, my dad's brother and my dad's mother, all obsessed with Egypt. Also, that my last name translates into Egypt, so that probably has something to do with it. But um, yeah, I still have that fascination with ancient Egypt. So I'm pretty sure I was there. I'm almost done. I got one bite of sausage left. Okay, one more bite, and then no more mukbang. Hmm. Hmm. And then Tara chewed for like 5 minutes. Mm. Almost forgot about this one. My dowsing rods. And um, one of my dude's best friends, his mother is part of the San Diego Dowsing Rod Society, but they douse for water. So it was normal. It's originally like meant to find water, which I can go. I tried this in my front backyard, trying to find the water lines for the house, like the main water line. I found them. It was awesome. um, let's see. Cold inspired me too. Always fascinated me, and actually have some memories from being a priestess in Egypt. So that is cool. That is very cool. Um, you know what past life seems to be coming through is Mayan. I keep seeing myself as this dude in meditation. It's like when I close my eyes, I wake up as him. And at one point, I was like babbling something in some weird language out loud. And I was trying not to wake up my boyfriend because I kind of knew that I was meditating in bed, but at the same time, I couldn't stop talking, whatever language it was that I was talking. But yeah, every time I go into meditation now, I'm this Mayan dude. So it could be a past life coming through. Aries loves Scottish Celtic. Cool, cool. Sherry Bug, yes, used to call witching for water around here. Oh, yep, going witching, looking for some water. And this is also interesting because dowsing rods, which you can actually make out of coat hangers, like wire coat hangers, and just make sure that you have something around the base so that you're not actually holding the metal itself. You want it to be able to move freely so that it's not you actually moving it. And so they always tell you to kind of like keep your elbows to your sides, keep them pointed down a little bit so that they can move them a little more easily. But I use this one more for spirit communication. It's not the easiest one for me to use with spirits because it seems like it takes a lot of energy to physically put energy through me somehow, and somehow they move it to, I'm not really sure how the spirits work with it, but I know that it does work. It just it seems to take way too much energy out of them, so I don't usually use these unless there's more people around. It seems like they feed off the energy of other people, and then I'll use these. And then Jillifer says, I have always loved ancient Egyptian priests and priestesses. So cool. Okay, so that was basically kind of the big topic I wanted to come on here with you guys. Let me just take a drink of tea. Got sausage in my teeth. Okay, is that there are so many different divination systems out there. And again, my interpretation, this is all just coming from me. I'm one point of view out of all the different points of views out there. That's why I think that, I don't always favor like, one class, people teaching those courses on how to read runes or use pendulums, because every teacher, just like, I'm a teacher as well, every teacher has a different perspective. So they're going to reach people in different ways. So I always encourage people, to try out different teachers, different courses, even different readers. If you're going for a reading, even though you may read for yourself, it's good to get that other perspective. So yes, I am a reader. I'm a professional reader. People pay me to do readings for them. But I also think that when I read for myself, I'm getting the perspective from myself. I sometimes want an outside perspective, especially if I'm too close to a situation and my own feelings are clouding an answer. I might, I've gone to, like I've mentioned before, Iris Ara, who created the deck of color. I've gone to her a few times for a color reading, an aura reading. I've gone to Ethany. I've also done Vic's New Age Hipster. I've gone to a few other readers, and I highly respect them, and they all have something different to offer. I'm always trying to look for readers who don't necessarily read like me, or they can do something that I'm not proficient at. I would love to get an astrology reading from Sammy Menzo. That would be fantastic. And that's her strong suit, is astrology. And so although yes, she is an artist and she's also very good at art, that's her forte, is astrology. So I like to look at what people's strong points are that may not be my strong point, and then I want to get a reading from them, because they'll offer a perspective that I can't do for myself, or not do well for myself. Jillifer says, I know this sounds very weird, but I have always seen myself as an Italian nun in the Renaissance. I have always loved Christian hymns and big Gothic cathedrals. That's why I say, if people feel really connected to a certain something and you can't figure out why, it's probably because you were there. I've just kind of accepted that about myself. There's certain things that I just like really connect to, certain eras, certain sounds, and I just say that it's probably from past life. Cold as Fire said, wow, that's very interesting. Yeah. And so, yeah, so, with all these things, all these tools that I wanted to show you guys today, maybe something piqued your interest and you're like, well, I have a book, maybe I'll try bibliomancy, or I love tea, maybe I'll try that teomancy, tasseomancy. I'm not really sure the actual scientific name. Claudia said, many paths, we are strongest when we go with what resonates and we connect to. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, even with like mirror scrying, the black mirror scrying or obsidian scrying, I can do it, but it's not my go-to because I don't connect with it as much. And so therefore, you know, if I have some really big questions, that's not what I'm going to go towards. So yeah, with all of these things, you guys try out all sorts of different things. You know, try putting a ring on a string and try using the pendulum and see how that works for you. And always start off your questions very lighthearted. So if you're trying a new system, you're like, all right, I have this crystal sphere and I'm gonna scry the first time. My question is, what is my life's purpose? Probably a little too intense for your very first question on something that you've never done before. So start off maybe a little smaller with like, what's my day going to be? Or what's the energy surrounding my day today? Or should I go with a salad or a burrito for lunch? You know, start off like jovial, start off small, build your confidence. And when you feel good with that, then you can start asking, and this is in my opinion, start asking the heavier, bigger questions, start, you know, diving a little bit deeper, but really get to understand and know whatever system it is that you work with. If you read flowers, color, you know, start off small with your questions and try to understand first the language that the spirit inside of you, the divine inside of you, is trying to connect with the human you. Try to understand the language that's coming through. And then when you start to feel confident with the little questions, then start moving to the bigger questions, because now you've built your confidence in the system. And I think that's where people get hung up sometimes, is first I have to learn this system and it's blowing my mind. Then maybe you don't work with that one yet. Build your confidence in something that you do like first, then you can branch off into tarot, or you can branch off into, you know, whatever it may be. Oh no, my battery, is my battery dying? Hold on, let's plug this in. I don't know if this cord is no good. Let's go see. Let's find a plug. We're gonna go into the other room, see if we can find a plug. Come walk with me. Okay. I don't know if you guys are still here. Yes, it was the battery, you guys. So that was really strange. I plugged the phone into my external charger, and then it didn't charge. So then it was like down to 5% battery, and so now I have to charge it against the wall here. So anyway, I mean, we were getting close to, hold on, let me put this on its tripod. There we go. We were getting close to ending our chat anyway. We were kind of winding down. So yeah, I hope you guys, sorry, I'm against the wall because that's where my phone charges. I hope you guys enjoyed the chat today. I know most everybody's gone because obviously I left. The phone just died. But yeah, I have it plugged into the wall now, so that should be good. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the chat. Where's my deck of cards? I wanted to pull, like I always like to do a little reading at the end of the chat and a little like energy healing. So I'll just do that kind of, I guess, real quickly with the people that are still here and everybody that's going to watch the replay as well. Okay, so I have the Star Power Tarot. I'm just going to ask for a message for all of us for this coming week. It's going to be hot in San Diego. Just a little message for us. And is it still live? I think I still see the number counting. I hope it's still live. Okay. Ooh, we got Knight of Swords. All right, there's our other two. We have the Three of Swords. We have the Ace of Wands. That's an interesting message for the week. All right, so Knight of Swords. the Three of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. Jillifer said it is still live. Okay, okay, awesome. You guys are all here. Or most of you are still here. So, okay, and also remember, oh, that is such a cute emoji. Also remember, you know, like one of the systems that I most connect with is tarot. That's the one I'm most comfortable with. So, you know, that's the one I mostly use. You guys always use the systems that you are most comfortable with. It will really help you build confidence in your intuition. All right, so for a message for all of us for this coming week, Knight of Swords, Three of Swords. Okay, so with these two, what I think the universe is really asking us to do is to be a little more proactive and get a lot and trying to find clarity in blockages we may have when it comes to certain topics. Like, you know, obviously we have the COVID-19, we have the coronavirus, we have, like, you know, other stuff going on. There's political stuff, there's all kinds of stuff, you know, going on. And so the Knight of Wands is just asking us to try to gain a little more objective view of whatever situation that you most want to look into. Instead of having your head and your emotions and everything all wrapped up and clogged and all kinds of conflict and stuff going in. Remember I said sometimes tarot is really good for helping us to, you know, really fan out what's going on, all the jumbledness that may be happening in our brain. So, and you may want to pull some cards for that of like, okay, what is my predominant emotion right now? What is my predominant thought? Okay, then let's focus on that instead of having all of these thoughts and all of these emotions at once. So whatever you need to do to help give yourself clarity in certain situations, it could be just helping to really list the thoughts that you have going on in your head or all the different emotions you have going on, just so everything isn't all jumbled up and it's like clouding, you know, your whole judgment on a certain situation. You know, to do that, because once you do that, then you'll have this energy moving forward. You'll finally be able to move past this block, whatever it may be, you know, just not being able to understand certain situations. So that is our message for the week, is if you are finding it hard to understand something because you got so many thoughts on the subject and so much emotion wrapped up into it, that maybe it's time to start pinpointing what your strongest thought is, your strongest emotion, and like working backwards from there. Okay. I also always do a little bit of a healing at the end of my live chat, and so you guys don't obviously have to be here for it. People are gonna watch it in the rerun. Oh, there's Wally. But you can go about your day. If you're gardening, continue gardening. If you're I don't know, trimming up the tree, you go ahead and trim up the tree. Whatever it is that you guys are doing, just know that the energy will get to you. There's a nice Wally Wallito tail for you guys. And you can also ask that the energy be sent elsewhere as well. You don't have to receive the energy if you don't want to. It's always up to you. Jillifer says, I am feeling a magical energy that started today, like I should finally start witchcraft. Then you did your live. I now know I must start my magic journey today. What should I do first? Well, some people are talking about the friendship bracelet. Maybe make a friendship bracelet. Or it could be just going out into your yard, even if you don't have much of a yard, and it could just be some potted plants. And just sit with the energy, you know, of that plant. That's all a part of magic. Even sitting with the energy of yourself, or sitting outside soaking up the sun or the moonlight, you know, just little simple things that maybe you can do today. Try not to do everything at once. Don't go crazy. Okay, I'm looking for a card. Ooh, for the energy that I want to be sending out to you guys today. It's always a little bit different. The energy, ooh, I'm gonna be sending you guys High Priestess vibes. Yes. Jillifer said, thank you so much for this live. Love you, sending love a night. Same to you, Jillifer. And I'm gonna be sending you guys actually High Priestess vibes. So High Priestess for all you guys and gals out there. All right, so that's gonna be the energy. Here we go. All right, you guys. Ooh, that was some magical energy I was sending out to you guys. So those high priestess vibes, may that carry you into next week, help you guys, start looking at certain things to help build your intuition, build your confidence in the language of what's coming from you, the divine in you on the inside. I hope you guys enjoyed this live chat. I had a lot of fun, with this. And I'm all about empowering you guys and helping you guys build, confidence in whatever it is that you do, because I believe that, we're all magical beings. We all have something to offer the world, and we are all intuitive. It's just like a human ability. It's just part of being human. Um, Without all the external definitions that society, religion, everything may put on being an intuitive, and just kind of going about your days, your weeks, and figuring out what connects with you most, and then really focus on that. And when you start building your confidence in that, then you guys can start branching out. But yeah, high priestess vibes to you all. I was seeing all kinds of like kittens, my kitten, sun and moon and stars and all kinds of hibiscus, actually hibiscus, and lots of like fuchsia vibes. So yay. um Aries says thank you, and Jillifer, love you too. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Have an awesome weekend. Have a great rest of your week. And I will catch you, spiritual homies, next Saturday. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease, you guys. Peace out. Have a good day.